Okay, wow, and again, wow. I have just watched the Super Mario movie. Let's go. Yeah, apologies for that terrible accent. But, yeah, I need to do a video on this movie. Two disclaimers first. A, I am about to basically spoil the entire movie, so if you have not seen it yet, do not watch this video. Although I will say, spoiler free, do watch it. It is an incredible movie. Secondly, because the movie is, well, only just out, and I don't know if I'm going to get copyright striked for showing trailer footage, I'm not going to show anything for this video. It's just kind of going to be a blank void with sort of a podcasty thing of like me talking. So basically, just listen to the video, don't really watch it because there's not really anything to see. I mean, I could put gameplay of like some Mario games or something over the video, I guess, but I'm not going to. So basically, I went into this movie with, I'd say, middly expectations. Like, Chris Pratt. Let's face it, the elephant in the room here. Yeah, he kind of lowered my expectations. Obviously, the second he was cast, and the first few adverts, they weren't really making the movie look that great. But then the most recent sort of string of marketing has made the movie look way better. So I watched it, thinking it would be about an average movie, sort of at best. Not thinking I'd hate it, but not thinking that I'd sort of love it. And definitely not thinking that I would think in the end that it was better than the two Sonic the Hedgehog movies. Yes, I did just say that. This movie should really just is like the perfect textbook example of how to do a video game adaptation movie. Because this film puts so many references, like so many like nods to the games. It also follows the game like very well. And the characterization is absolutely brilliant for all the characters. Because one thing a lot of people were pathetically, in my opinion, complaining about on the internet is that Luigi gets kidnapped and Peach is like the sort of badass action hero lady in the movie. However, if you watch the actual movie, you realize something that was not put in any of the marketing whatsoever is that the whole plot premise kind of follows Mario Odyssey in the point of Bowser wanting to marry Peach and wanting to kidnap her to force her to marry him. However, because she's actually like, decent in this movie, she actually, fights back and doesn't just willingly get kidnapped. And so, but there is still like the plot there of that's what Bowser wants to do. He wants to kidnap the princess. He wants to marry the princess. That's still like the whole thing. And also the music. That's something I have to talk about before I can really talk about the plot. The music is so good. There are about three like sort of like in real life kind of pop songs that play that kind of don't go and sort of ruin to some extent the rest of it. But so, this movie plays so many like tracks from the Mario games. It is absolutely great. It does the one thing that everybody complained that the Sonic movies don't do of constantly playing Mario music and sound effects, which is great because like literally opening scene, it's like the thing in the trailers of Bowser's castle like flying through the sky. And then it just Bowser's castle theme, or it might be Bowser's airship theme. I can't remember which it is, but it's one of the two. Then later on, you get when Mario and Luigi find the portal to the Mushroom Kingdom. It then plays the underground theme with a sign that says 1-2, which, is obviously a reference to the first game where the underground level is 1-2. And it's also like all the other music and also the remixes. It's like they remix the Superstar theme, the like Overworld theme. I think they might even remix Peach's Castle theme. I'm not 100% sure. They also do like a medley during the credits of like a bunch of like Mario tracks sort of combined together into like a song. And that is great. The music is, other than the sort of few in real life songs that kind of don't really go, the rest of the music, 10 out of 10 by a mile. The music is Chef's Kiss, so good, peak cinema. The actual plot of the movie, I think, was handled, again, very well, because it sort of has Mario and Luigi in Brooklyn with their "We're the Mario Brothers," commercial. And then they get teleported to the Mushroom Kingdom and separated, and Luigi accidentally gets kidnapped by Bowser, not deliberately, like all the trailers make it look like. And then, Mario has to go on the quest to do Mario things, and obviously rescue Luigi, and stop Bowser's wedding to Peach. But as I said, I think the plot was done very well. I like all the characters with having Captain Toad. I was hoping he'd get, like, the hat at the end of the movie, like, sort of as kind of like a medal ceremony type thing. He'd get, like, like the mining sort of hat with, like, the headlight, but he didn't. But still, like, he was great. The Kongs were great. They have the DK rap, so that's just automatically peak. Yeah, but no, seriously, the Kongs were great. Mario's characterization was very good. They also do a pretty good thing of sort of explaining what the Super Mushroom actually does. Because obviously in the Mario games, it just kind of makes him grow, like, kind of bigger. Then obviously when he's hit, he sort of shrinks into, like, kind of a dwarf person. It's kind of weird and doesn't really make sense. But they actually give some sort of, like, canonical explanation as to what it actually does in this movie, which is very good. All the other power-ups are good. Peach, I actually liked they made her sort of a heroic person, because no offense, she's kind of an idiot in the games, just constantly getting kidnapped, like every other video game. So it's actually nice for her to try, and admittedly fail, not to get kidnapped for once. And yeah, Luigi is a complete wuss, like, he normally is. So that was, again, done very well. Bowser was way more evil in this movie than he, like, normally is. Like, the final battle at the end, he is trying to kill Mario, like... I mean, I guess in the games he kind of tries to kill Mario, but at the same time, he kind of plays sports with him, and... like, Bowser, he's kind of evil in the games, but also not really. Whereas he's, like, honestly quite sort of brutal near the end of, like, I will impale you with a spike and you will die. And then there's, like, all the references. I mean, in pretty much, like, the whole opening bit in Brooklyn, you've got Game & Watch, Duck Hunt, Balloon Flight, Punch-Out, just Pauline from New Donk City, like, oh my god. Oh yeah, the R-Wing is... And I think there's also a Legend of Zelda reference there too. Oh yeah, Mario plays Kid Icarus. Like, the references are just insane. Also, Luigi's torch that he has before he gets kidnapped has Nintendo, like, written on the side of it, like how they brand their products, which is quite cool. Doesn't really make sense that it's sort of in real life kind of like Mario world, but Nintendo makes torches. But okay then. So yeah, like, all the references were also just so appreciated. I think I got most of them, or like noticed the majority, because I sort of, from the opening bit where there's like all the Punch-Out references, I was like, okay, this film is going to be chock-a-block full of references in it, isn't it? And then I just deliberately tried for the rest of the movie to see how many I could spot. I think I spotted most of them. Also, like, there's kind of quite a lot of Mario enemies that sort of appear in, like, the wedding scene at the end, like King Boo and Bomb and a bunch of the other, like, I think King Womp might be there as well, I'm not 100% sure. There's a lot of, like, enemy references as well. The songs, yeah, are also great in the respect, because it's something I didn't actually mention, of having, like, the Super Mario Super Show theme, the DK rap. Bowser also sings at one point, which is kind of funny. They don't, unfortunately, do the Mario, though. That was, like, my biggest complaint of the movie, that they don't do the Mario. But yeah, the power-ups are also handled, like, really well, with kind of showing how, they work, and everything. So, yeah, and also, as I said, this film kind of gives context to, like, a lot of sort of things, like how the Mario Karts work, the Super Mushroom works, the Warp Pipe works. It kind of gives, like, a lot of contextualization to stuff that in the games is very vaguely explained, if explained at all. So actually, I kind of to some extent take the explanations of that sort of stuff in this movie as like sort of game canon now. But yeah, I would highly recommend watching this movie, and yeah.